Well, good morning and welcome to this week's edition of Coffee with the Coach. You know, it's early in the season, but already I found that I'm hooked again on American Idol. Now this year I vowed that I wouldn't. Not only did I waste a lot of time last year, but this year, of course, Simon was going to be gone, and he's probably one of the best reasons to watch this show. Last week, though, I happened to tune it in. During the summer, I was doing some workshops in Milwaukee, and they were actually doing American Idol auditions, so I thought I'd go ahead and check it out. And what was so interesting is looking at the new judges this year, we had Steven Tyler and Jennifer Lopez. Now, Steven Tyler, for those of you who don't know, is the lead singer of the group Aerosmith. They've been around for a really long time. And what was interesting, after watching it, I thought, I really think he's doing a good job. Now, my daughter, who's about 12 now, came to me and she says, I really like Steven Tyler, and I want a poster of him in her room. And so she was talking about that. And then she's listening to his song, Dream On. Now what's interesting about that is Dream On came out in around 1976, 1977. I was about her age when that song came out, but he's relevant today. I also enjoy watching Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. For those of you who don't know who Gene Simmons is, of course, he's the lead singer of Kiss, the guy with the really long tongue. And he's got a reality show, and he's on every week. And it's interesting now that both of these guys, whether intentional or not, have done something new to relate to a new generation. They might have done it just to sell albums. I think it's working, and it's really working pretty well. In my own field, I work with a lot of really good people who do what I do, and they really work to keep themselves relevant. I also have seen some who probably haven't cracked a book any time in the last 10 years and are teaching the same kind of boring material to an audience that can't relate anymore. They're really becoming irrelevant. I think that's one of my greatest fears, to go in front of a group and have them say, this guy needs to just pack it in, he's not doing it anymore. There are some folks that I know who are struggling with this now as they're out of work. Their skills are no longer needed and they haven't done anything to really upgrade those skills. It can be a real problem. So how do you prevent that from happening? How can you get yourself to a point where you're not having to work to stay relevant? It's actually happening because you're doing it as you kind of go along. Well, I've got some suggestions for you. The first one is one that probably some of you do, and that is to read the news. And don't just read the news the way you like to hear it, like MSNBC or Fox. Go and look at some foreign correspondents. Go watch the BBC. Watch something that, again, there's really no fair and balanced reporting because you'll even put your own spin on it. But know what's going on. Know what the trends are. Know what the patterns are. Read books and magazines that are related to your field. I've said this over and over. Do that for an hour a day, and you can become an expert inside of a year. Take some time to expand your network. Use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great way to be able to connect with people who are in your field that you can learn from and you can support. And the last suggestion is to volunteer. Get out and use some of those skills and meet some new people. You have to really work to stay relevant. I know this, folks. I do it all the time. It's a constant process, but it's well worth it. Why don't you join me this week? I'm working on it. Gene Simmons is doing it. Steven Tyler's doing it. Join us. That's it for this week's edition. If you have questions for me, just go to askthecoachrightnow.com. You can check out my blog at coachmunro.com. You can call me at 281-8-COACH-8 or just check me out on email at coach@contactmycoach.com. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week on Coffee with the Coach.